Okay, today we're going to be talking about long-term situationships and really how to navigate this so that you are no longer living a life that is compromising, that is falling short of who you know yourself to be deep down. It's especially if it has been a long-term relationship, it's highly unfulfilling and depleting in the long run. As much as you really adore and like this person, the anxiety, the stress, the worry, the rumination, the wondering where things are going can really take over. And so all of that, you deserve to live from a place of full peace, full knowing that the person that you are investing in or have committed to is also equally choosing you at the same degree that you're choosing them. And sometimes this is somewhat off in the situationships that we get ourselves into because we are giving more of ourselves than we're getting back in return of devotion and commitment and clarity on where we stand. If it has been long term, I just want to say from the outside world, it can often look like, how are you settling in this dynamic? It's shit. It's you deserve so much better. And it makes logical sense. It's like, and then often when we hear this, we then shame ourselves for the experience that we are tolerating. However, there are so many nuances to this, and if we judge ourselves, then we often hold ourselves back from getting the support that we need. I've been in situationships and very long term dynamic that was with someone that was married and for 7 years, and it was highly painful. At the same time, I also felt like this person was my best friend or my biggest confidant. And so it's just, and also for me, I didn't see it going somewhere. And yet I still couldn't move on. And so, like, even this just shows the difficulty of it, because if I saw it going somewhere, then maybe that would explain why you hold on so much. But for me, I didn't even see it going somewhere. And so this is where it's like there is a lot of trauma bonding underneath the surface that if we can really unpack, then we can get clear on how to navigate forward. True healing absolutely does work and does take place. And I can attest to that in terms of attracting so many unhealthy relationships time and time again, where they were falling short of what I deeply craved in terms of my fantasy relationship. They just kept falling short. And then after healing and healing and healing, my whole idea of my attraction to the man that I desire is so different to what I attracted before. What I attracted before was often someone quite strong, controlling, in charge, sure of himself, and all of that. And yes, I want someone that is so sure of themselves, but also deeply compassionate, deeply respectful, so devoted. So let's go into it. I want to just talk on 6 steps that you can do to get more clarity and get unstuck. So, firstly, you have been investing in this relationship, probably just looking at this day to day, what the feelings are bringing up within you, and then wanting to mend those feelings or to create connection or to create closeness. I want you to really step back and be like, okay, what mountain am I climbing up? In terms of my own fulfillment and success in life, what mountain am I climbing up? And is he climbing up the same mountain? And he may be, but he also may not be. And if he's not climbing up the same mountain in terms of your trajectory in life, then this really offers a question of, why do I want to continue investing in something that at the end of the day is going to be even slightly off path than who I know myself to be. Now, this can be your goals and desires of how you want to live your life, your standard of service or income or relaxedness in life? Like, how do you live your life with time? How do you live your life with your hobbies? How do you live your life with your values? Is this man embodying the values that you want to step into? And if you become more of his values, will you like the version of yourself that you're becoming? These are all questions that you want to ask yourself, that really kind of take us away from the love we have, because we do feel very connected to the person that we're in love with. And that's why it's so difficult to break the ties. But is he an embodiment of the values, the morals, the standards, the hobbies, the vision that you have set for your life? Get clear on that. And if it is somewhat on off track, then will he be willing to meet you on that track? Or are you going to be compromising yourself to let go of some of these things in order to live with him? And sometimes when we're really stuck in it, we often do think, oh, well, maybe I could let go of these things. And this is just because of the love that we have for this person. Sometimes this can happen with babies and being like, well, maybe I'll settle without having a kid, or maybe I'll settle with just having one kid when I really want four. But what would your life look like if you did have those four kids that you really wanted? And how would family, your relationship with an experience with family and connectedness and adventure and all of that look like, compared to, say, if he was wanting one kid and wanting a quiet life? Does your experience of your model of what you want family to look like align with his model? These are all questions. The next thing that I want you to do is then, and then the next one is needs. So I just talked about goals, but the next one is needs. What do you need in terms of a time commitment, in terms of a commitment to the relationship? Like, ultimately, you don't want to be in a relationship where someone isn't actually a fully committed to you. So at what point are you willing to then draw the boundary and say, this is a need that I have, and I now am going to make sure that in life this need gets met. And if it doesn't, then I'm not going to commit myself to something that is less than. And that may be for a time withdrawing from the relationship so that he can really think about, well, do I want to choose for this person? Because at the moment, you're just giving yourself to him where he's really not respecting the energy and devotion that you're giving into this relationship. So continue to set boundaries, get clear on everything that you need in terms of like how often you want to be spending time together, how sure of his commitment you want to feel, and then start to set boundaries. No longer tolerate less than what really feels fulfilling to you. And for a time, that may be that the love slips away for a time, but it will then invite what you really want into your life, because you've made room, you've set the standard, and that standard will be met. Whether it will be met by him or someone else, it will absolutely be met, because you hold yourself in a way that I deserve to experience this. The next one is evaluate their actions and not just their words. So you we can't just live from hope. And when we are in these situations, there is so much hope that is filling the unmet needs that we have, instead of realizing that these needs are significantly unmet. We then hope that in the future, well, they will be met. Once he goes through this whole work thing that has taken up 2 years of his life, because it has been such an uprooting of his time, once he goes through that, then he will be available. And it's like, how much are you waiting, putting yourself on hold, waiting for hope, or waiting for something to happen, or waiting for this next thing, that then everything will be better? The reality is, your need is this, and you need it now. Otherwise, you're not going to keep giving more of yourself in something that is continually feeling empty to a degree. Now, that may mean, say, for example, if it's a work project, in 2 years, he can come around and say, I am so ready to commit to you. But you putting yourself on hold for an extra year in a relationship that feels less committed than what you really want, that's really painful and hurtful to yourself. You don't deserve that. You deserve full commitment, and someone invested in you. Uh, the next one is filling the gaps where these needs are going unmet for connection, for investment, for depth, for emotional intimacy. If he's not meeting these, go meet them somewhere else. Go have the need set of how high it is, and then go meet it in some of the relationships with your female friends, so that you are no longer deficient in these areas. That will also make your bar higher of what you wish to tolerate within him, because you're not going through a drought or deficiency in general in your life. When these needs are met, you're no longer starving for him to meet it. Um, and lastly, be willing to get uncomfortable. For you to really step into your highest version of yourself, you've got to be willing to leave good for great, or to set the bar high, knowing that maybe they won't choose to meet you there. They may rise, and then you've really anchored in how you deserve to be respected in a relationship, but they may also fall away. And that can be really challenging and really frightening, and bump up against this wound of fear of abandonment. However, you deserve to live the life that is at your fullest potential. And so be willing to feel like you may take 2 steps back in order to take 3 steps forward. The reality is you're in a long-term situationship, and a long-term situationship is going to cause you to lose yourself over time. And you've probably already felt like you've lost yourself. And so it's time to no longer put your life on hold and take the really scary, confronting action that may bring you closer to loneliness in the short term, but in the long term, really open up a fertile ground for you to flourish. So I hope that helps. I do offer one-to-one coaching for women that are going through these experiences and really wanting to create a massive change. So if you want support through that, you can fill out the form below. A lot of the questions are on affair relationships. If yours is not quite that, that's totally okay. I still work with all women getting through these situations. And yeah, I also offer a support community for women that are in secret relationships as well. So if that is you, then you can also jump on board that. But I hope that helps. Sending all my love and all the strength that you need in order to navigate your way through this. Bye for now.